through today the cause of death. So it will go undetermined, still under investigation.
Police still don't know what killed a 55-year-old veteran found buried in a local basement, but they now know who he was. Good evening, everyone. Detectives say Steven Reis was a disabled Air Force veteran receiving military benefits.
And they think his caretaker continued to spend that money months after his death in Dayton, Kentucky. Local 12's Joe Webb is in the newsroom with new information on this case. Joe?
Well, Rob, somebody buried Steven Reis underneath the concrete floor of a 121 6th Avenue last January. No one has been charged with that crime yet, and until his cause of death is determined, police aren't sure exactly where this case will go. Steven Reis suffered from diabetes, depression, and post-traumatic stress disorder. Dayton Police don't know how he died, but know he was unceremoniously buried in the basement of 121 6th Avenue. They were led here by a tip on September 4th. Cadaver dogs hit on a spot in the concrete floor of the basement, and they dug up Reis's remains. The autopsy today didn't answer the biggest question facing police.
He's been dead for 9 months, so the body was in a state of decomposition, almost mummified. So his body was in poor condition, and it took a specialist to come in that's going to have to do more work to determine cause of death.
Police don't know if Reis's death was a murder, but say serious crimes were committed. They say 121 6th Avenue was rented by Christy Russell, who acted as a caregiver to Reiss. She and 3 or 4 other people living here were allowed to use Reis's debit card, where he received his government benefits. Russell was arrested Saturday for using that card long after Reis's death.
Basically, she knew he was deceased and was continually using his credit card, which he was getting retirement funds through the United States Air Force. It was his retirement. That was money going from the government onto the card, and she was using those funds. They're not related in any way. No friends of a friend or anything like that. It was just their paths crossed, and he had money. He was older. She was down on her luck, didn't have any money.
Christy Russell is in the Campbell County Jail. The investigation into Steven Reis's death is far from over.
To this point, there will be more arrests in the future. I can't say when, but we are, pretty encouraged that we will have several arrests here in the near future.
Now, because the credit card fraud case involves government benefits, this case could include federal charges. The chief Halfhill says because of Christy Russell's criminal history as a felon, she's likely to face a longer sentence in state court if convicted. Rob?
So Ms. Reiss was using his credit card. Did she know he was dead in the basement? Do we know that yet?
We don't know. That's a great question, but she was living with him. The police are certainly assuming that she knew he was deceased, and the police are telling us that she did know that he was dead and continued to use that card. They lived together, and so, but we have not heard anything from Christy Russell, but police have stated flat out that she knew he was dead and continued to use that card.
Yeah.
You stumped me there for a minute, Rob.
Yep. It's a fascinating story. I'm anxious to hear more, which sounds like we will from the chief soon, Joe.
And we will.
Yeah. Thanks very much.